Most of us struggle to remember what we read yesterday, let alone a friend's phone number. We are living in a state of constant digital dependence, where the moment a connection drops, a specific kind of cognitive anxiety takes over. The promise was that AI would handle the busy work of thinking, leaving our minds free for complex, high-level creativity. But as our devices get smarter, our collective attention spans are getting shorter. This creates intellectual fragility, a state where the brain becomes paralyzed when it can't reach a digital proxy to articulate a thought or solve a basic problem. We are becoming reliant on a cloud-based architecture for functions our brains were designed to handle internally. We are losing our cognitive independence. Deep inside the temporal lobe is the hippocampus. This seahorse-shaped structure is the biological engine for both long-term memory and spatial navigation. Because we offload memory to algorithms, this area physically shrinks. Like a muscle never moved, the hippocampus is atrophying from disuse. This is an algorithmic lobotomy. We are trading literal gray matter for the convenience of instant answers. Every time we use an algorithm as a cognitive crutch, we reduce the biological demand on our own neural architecture. The cost of this convenience is a measurable loss in brain volume. For a piece of information to move from short-term holding into long-term memory, it has to pass through a specific biological gateway. This requires desirable difficulty. The brain must experience mental friction, a moment of struggle or effort, to signal that a piece of data is worth the energy required to build a permanent neural pathway. AI provides the opposite, a frictionless, instant dopamine hit. When an answer is delivered without effort, that biological signal never fires. Without the signal of struggle, the brain assumes the information is disposable. It never moves to long-term storage because no neural bridge was ever built to receive it. Using AI for instant recall leaves us intellectually hollow. We are consuming information without actually encoding it into our own biological hardware. The brain is a ruthlessly efficient organ. Despite representing only 2% of your body weight, it consumes 20% of your total energy. It does not waste power on unused systems. This leads to synaptic pruning, the use it or lose it principle. When memory circuits are ignored, the brain dismantles them to save energy. By offloading our internal maps and memories to external devices, we are effectively telling our brains that these structures are redundant. In response, the brain begins to clear them away. Our biological drive for efficiency is now working against us, deleting the very neural hardware that once defined our individual intelligence. We have clear proof of how mental effort changes brain structure from a famous year 2000 study of London taxi drivers. These drivers had to memorize the knowledge, a mental map of 25,000 streets. Brain scans showed that this massive spatial load physically expanded their hippocampi. This manual encoding process builds an interconnected web of context. These drivers weren't just memorizing points on a map, they were building a complex internal simulation of the world. Today, most of us have replaced that internal simulation with GPS and AI-led directions, removing the need for spatial awareness entirely. We are running the taxi driver experiment in reverse. By relying on algorithms for every turn, we are shrinking the very structures that allow us to navigate and understand our physical surroundings. However, neuroplasticity works in both directions. Just as the brain can shrink from disuse, it is biologically programmed to regrow when we introduce new challenges. This has led to the cognitive resistance movement, a group of people intentionally training their brains to regain their lost volume. The core strategy is simple: reintroduce mental friction. By making the deliberate choice to do things the hard way, we force the brain to re-engage its dormant circuits. This looks like analog Sundays, memorizing phone numbers, or navigating through a city using only a physical map and landmarks. These routines act as targeted physical therapy for the mind, forcing blood flow back to the hippocampus to stimulate the growth of new gray matter. The goal isn't to live in the past or delete our apps, it's to change how we interact with them. AI should be used as a sparring partner to test what we know, rather than a crutch that prevents us from ever learning it in the first place. You are choosing between two physical states, the atrophy of digital convenience or the growth of intentional struggle. Artificial intelligence was designed to be a bicycle for the mind, not a wheelchair. The next time you feel the urge to look up a simple fact, wait. Let yourself struggle to remember it. That frustration is the physical sensation of your brain coming back online.